Captain Arin Cole was known across the solar system as a man who never left anyone behind. He had saved miners from broken moons, children from burning ships, and whole crews trapped in drifting stations. People said he was lucky, but Arin never believed in luck. He believed in skill, in duty, and in doing what was right, even when it cost him everything. 15 years ago, on a cold morning near Jupiter, Arin received a distress call from Helix 9, an old research station that studied dark energy. The call was short and full of static explosion. Fire spreading. We are trapped. Then silence. Arin did not wait for orders. He pushed the engines of his rescue ship, the Silver Wing, and raced toward the station. When he reached Helix-9, he saw a massive fire eating through the metal rings of the structure. Pieces of the station floated into space like burning snow. Inside, alarms screamed, lights failed, and people ran for their lives. Arin knew he had to move fast. He docked the Silver Wing and entered the smoky hallway. The heat was intense, and every step felt like walking into a furnace. Yet he stayed calm. He found a group of scientists stuck behind a broken door. With one strong pull, he forced it open and led them to the escape pods. Then he returned for more survivors. Time passed like a slow nightmare. Arin went back again and again, guiding people through fire and darkness. His suit was damaged, oxygen low, and the metal around him shook with every new explosion. Still, he kept going. Finally, he found the last group 4 engineers trapped in the power room. But the power room was the most dangerous part of the station. A reactor inside was overheating, glowing bright like a dying star. Everyone knew it could blow at any second. Arin ordered the engineers to run while he held the collapsing doorway. The heat burned his gloves. But he refused to let go. The engineers escaped. Arin turned to leave, but he was too late. A deep roar echoed through the station. The reactor exploded. A wave of white fire swallowed the room. Arin was thrown against the wall. And everything went dark when rescue teams reached him. They found his body floating among pieces of metal. No heartbeat, no breath. Arin Cole was dead. Doctors tried for 10 minutes, then 20, then 40, but nothing happened. Finally, after 60 minutes of death, a monitor beeped. Arin gasped, his chest rising as if pulled back by invisible hands. The doctor stared in shock. A man dead for an hour had returned, but Arin was not the same. He woke with strange dreams in his mind, dreams of a white void stretching forever. He remembered a voice calling him, soft but powerful. He remembered a light entering his chest, warm and burning at the same time. He asked the doctors about it, but they had no answers. Slowly, the story spread. Arin Cole died and came back. Arin walked into the afterlife and returned. Arin touched something not human. Arin ignored the rumors. He returned to Earth, retired from rescue work, and tried to live a quiet life, but the universe had not forgotten him. And neither had the thing that touched him during those 60 minutes. Strange things began to happen around him. Lights flickered when he felt angry. Machines reacted to his presence. He sometimes woke with a burning mark on his chest, a mark shaped like an unknown symbol. He told no one, not even his closest friends. Years passed. 15 years after his death, Arin had almost convinced himself that everything was normal. Almost, but far across the darkness of space, a small alien craft entered the solar system. Moving silently inside it, a silver pod glowed softly. A young alien princess slept inside, her breathing slow, her face calm. Her mission was already written, her path already chosen. She opened her eyes for the first time in years and whispered only one name, a name she had never spoken before. A name she had never learned from her own people, Arin Cole. And while Earth slept, the sensors of a secret organization began to scream. A strange energy spike appeared on their screens, coming directly from Arin's house. The same energy that appeared 15 years ago. The same energy from the moment he returned from death. Something had awakened. Something was coming. Arin Cole had no idea. But his second life was about to begin. For 15 years. Arin Cole lived quietly on the edge of the city. He fixed old ships in a dusty hangar, drank cheap coffee, and tried to forget the things he had seen. But the universe did not forget him, and on one silent night, the sky above Earth changed forever. It started with a strange sound, a distant hum that felt more like a vibration in the bones than a noise in the air. People stepped out of their homes, looked up, and pointed at a small silver streak cutting across the sky. It moved too fast for any human ship and too smoothly for falling debris. Within minutes, every space agency on Earth went on high alert. The object slowed, glowing brighter, then vanished behind the clouds. Radars caught it, lost it, then caught it again. Finally, it appeared on the landing cameras of a military research base known only as Site A3. A place hidden from the public, a place meant to stay secret. A small craft touched down gently on the landing pad. Its shape was unfamiliar, a long curved design that looked alive rather than built. No engines, no windows, no markings. The surface shimmered like water, even though it was solid metal. Soldiers surrounded the craft, their hands shaking, though they tried to hide it. Scientists rushed into the control room, speaking in sharp sentences. Unknown technology, no heat signature, no sign of life inside. But they were wrong. There was life inside, life that was waking up. The craft opened by itself, unfolding like a blooming flower. A bright mist spilled out, glowing softly in the night. Inside the mist was a tall silver pod, smooth and clean like polished stone. Everyone stepped back, unsure if they should run or stay. The pod released a soft chime. Then it opened. A young alien girl stepped out. She looked almost human, pale skin, silver gold hair, eyes glowing with soft blue light. Her clothing was made of thin metallic threads that shimmered with every breath. She was beautiful, but she carried a sadness that made the soldiers lower their weapons without thinking. She looked at them, confused and weak. Her voice trembled. Where? Where is the human who died and returned? The entire room froze. Scientists stared at each other. Soldiers exchanged nervous looks. No one had expected the first words from an alien visitor to be about a single human. The alien girl stepped forward and almost collapsed. Two medics caught her gently. Her breathing was shallow. As if she had traveled far beyond her limits, she whispered again, "I must find him. The one who crossed the resonance. The one who survived the white void." The scientists recorded everything, reviewing every word. Only one name matched her strange description. Only one human had died and returned in a way no science could explain. Captain Arin Cole, they informed the government. They classified everything as top secret, and then they locked the alien girl into a medical room to run tests. They called her Princess Lyra, based on the symbols found inside her pod. But Lyra did not care about tests or secrets. She sat on the cold bed, trembling, staring at the walls as if she expected them to dissolve. She whispered soft words in her alien language, almost like a prayer. Then she grew silent. Her blue eyes widened. She felt something, a pulse. A signal, a familiar energy nearby. The same energy she had followed across star systems. The same energy that had touched her people 15 years ago, Arin Cole's energy. She stood up and pressed her hand against the glass window of her room. "Arin Cole is alive," she said softly. "And the hunters will come for him." The guards outside did not understand her words, but they felt the fear in her voice before they could ask. The base alarms suddenly started screaming. Lights turned red, screens flashed warnings. Something had entered Earth's atmosphere. Something massive, something fast, something uninvited. Soldiers ran across the halls, shouting orders. Scientists panicked and tried to hide data. The ground outside shook as if a giant's foot had touched the earth in the surveillance room. Cameras showed dark shapes landing in the nearby forest, tall, thin creatures stepping out, their bodies shifting like shadows. No one knew them, but Lyra knew. She pressed her forehead against the glass, tears filling her eyes. They found me. She whispered, and they will kill him. The human who carries the resonance. Far away, sitting alone in his small workshop, Arin Cole felt a sudden pain in his chest. A burning mark appeared again, glowing through his shirt. He gasped, dropping his tools. Something was calling him. Something he had not felt since the moment he returned from death. The universe had just knocked on his door, and Arin Cole's life was about to change again. Arin Cole spent most nights working late in his workshop. The place smelled like metal, smoke, and old memories, but tonight, something felt different. The air was heavy, almost alive, and the strange burning mark on his chest kept pulsing like a second heartbeat. He pressed his hand against it. The heat spread through his fingers. "What do you want from me?" he whispered. Of course, there was no answer. Only a soft vibration under his skin, the same vibration he felt 15 years ago, right before he opened his eyes after being dead, before he could think more. Bright headlights flashed through his workshop window. A black transport vehicle stopped outside. Soldiers poured out, surrounding his door. Arin stepped back, confused but calm. He had seen this before: fear in uniforms. Confusion behind helmets. A tall officer entered. "Captain Arin Cole," the officer said. "You need to come with us immediately." Arin crossed his arms. "For what?" The officer hesitated. "It's easier to show you." Arin sighed but followed them. He climbed into the transport, and within seconds, they were speeding toward the mountains. No one spoke. The silence felt like a warning. Every turn of the road made Arin feel the mark on his chest burn hotter. Finally, they arrived at Site A3, the hidden base. Guards scanned Arin with nervous looks as if he might explode any second. He walked through the metal halls, hearing alarms in the distance. Something had clearly gone wrong inside a secure room. Behind thick glass, Arin saw her, a young alien girl with silver gold hair and glowing blue eyes. She was sitting on the edge of a bed, staring at her hands like she was afraid of them. Arin froze. He didn't know her. But something inside him reacted like a memory he did not own. The door opened, and scientists ushered him inside the observation chamber. One whispered, "She asked for you." By name, Arin stepped forward, and the alien girl lifted her head. Her eyes widened the moment she saw him. She stood slowly, almost trembling, and whispered, "It's you." The air between them felt charged. Like electricity waiting to strike, Arin cleared his throat. "I'm Arin Cole." The girl placed a hand on her chest. "I am Lyra, Princess of the Ilari Star Dominion." Her voice was soft but carried strange strength. Arin nodded politely. "Why did you come here? Why did you ask for me?" Lyra looked down, struggling to find the right words. "When you died 15 years ago," she said, "you crossed into the resonance." Arin frowned. "What is the resonance?" Lyra stepped closer to the glass. "It is the energy that connects all living souls in the universe when you entered it. Your presence awakened an old signal, a signal my people have guarded for centuries." Arin tried to laugh, but couldn't. "You're saying, when I died, I went somewhere?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, and you returned with something inside you." She raised her hand, revealing a faint symbol burned into her skin, the same symbol that appeared on Arin's chest. Arin felt cold. "How do you have that?" Lyra's eyes filled with fear. "It means we are linked." And it means the hunters are coming, before Arin could ask another question. The lights flickered, the walls shook. A loud explosion echoed through the base. Soldiers shouted in the halls. Alarms blared with a single message: breach detected. Unknown entities inside the base. Lyra pressed her forehead to the glass. They found me, she whispered. And they found you. Arin's instincts kicked in. He stepped back as soldiers rushed toward the door. One grabbed his arm. Stay down, sir. But Arin shook him off. He felt something strange inside him, a sharp pull. Like his soul was waking up. A whisper echoed in his mind. A voice he had heard only once before. The moment he died, the door to Lyra's room blew open. A shadowy figure stepped inside. Thin, shifting like smoke wrapped in armor. Lyra gasped, stepping back in fear. Arin felt a surge of anger rise inside him. Burning like fire, without thinking, he slammed his hand against the glass. A wave of invisible energy exploded outward. The glass cracked, glowing with bright light. Everyone stared in shock. Even Arin, the shadow creature, turned its head toward him. Its voice rattled like broken metal. You should have stayed dead. Arin's mark burned hotter than ever. Lyra stared at him with both fear and hope. You can feel them, she whispered. You can fight them. Arin Cole did not understand what was happening. But he knew one thing. His quiet life was over. And whatever he had become after dying for 60 minutes. It was waking up now. The base shook as if something enormous had struck it from the outside. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered violently. And distant screams echoed through the metal halls. Arin Cole stood frozen for a moment, staring at the tall shadow creature inside Lyra's room. It moved like living smoke, thin and long, with glowing red cracks running across its dark body. Its presence brought a cold fear that felt older than any war Arin had ever known. The creature stepped toward Lyra, its voice sharp and broken. Princess of Ilari, it hissed. You cannot escape the Voidborn. Lyra backed away. Trembling, her blue eyes glowed brighter. Not from power, but from pure terror. She whispered, They came faster than I feared. Arin didn't know what the Voidborn were. But he knew danger when he saw it. His chest burned again harder. Deeper, as if something inside him wanted to break free. He felt the same pull he felt at the moment of his death. A strange, invisible force waking inside him. He did not understand it. But it answered the fear rising in him. Stay away from her. Arin shouted before he even realized he had moved. He slammed his hand against the cracked glass again. This time, the glass exploded outward in a burst of bright white energy. Shards flew like sparks, but none touched him. The Voidborn stepped back, surprised. Arin stared at his own glowing hand, shocked. What? What did I just do? Lyra gasped. You released the resonance, she whispered. It is waking inside you. The Voidborn tilted its head. The red cracks across its body pulsed. So the human carries the mark, it growled. Good. We want him alive. Arin didn't like the sound of that. Two more Voidborn slipped through the broken doorway. Moving like black fire, their steps made no sound. But their presence filled the room with dread. Soldiers arrived behind Arin, shouting orders, open fire. Bright blue plasma bolts shot through the hallway, but the Voidborn moved too fast. Dodging the shots like shadows dancing in the light, one creature lunged toward Arin, its long arms stretching unnaturally. Arin lifted his hands in fear. A wave of energy burst out from him, again raw. Uncontrolled, powerful, the creature was thrown across the room. Crashing into the metal wall with a roar, Arin stumbled back, breathing hard. He hadn't meant to do it. He didn't even know how he did it. Lyra ran toward him, grabbing his arm. You must leave, she said. They will not stop until they take you. Arin looked at her, confused. Why me? What do they want? Lyra glanced at the glowing mark under his shirt. Because you touched the resonance. And survived. No human has ever done that. The hallway shook again as another explosion rocked the base. Pieces of the ceiling fell. Alarms screamed louder. The Voidborn regrouped. Their bodies twisting like dark smoke, ready to strike. Lyra pulled Arin toward the emergency door. Move. She shouted. Arin ran with her, and the soldiers covered their escape. But one by one, the soldiers fell to the Voidborn. Their shouts turning into silence. Arin and Lyra reached a maintenance tunnel. The narrow passage was dark and smelled of burning wires. Lyra pressed a small device against the wall. A panel opened, revealing a hidden lift inside. She said. Arin stepped in, and Lyra followed. Slamming her hand on the controls, the lift shot downward just as a Voidborn hand clawed through the closing doors. Sparks flew as the doors crushed its fingers. The creature hissed in rage. But the lift dropped too fast for it to follow. Arin tried to catch his breath. That was close. Lyra shook her head. Staring upward, they will not stop, she said. They are hunters of the void. Created to track resonance energy, they will follow us anywhere. Arin rubbed the burning mark on his chest. So this thing inside me. It's like a beacon. Lyra nodded. Yes, and the more it wakes. The brighter it becomes, the lift reached a hidden underground hangar. Inside was a small escape, shuttle-load. Scratched but flight-ready, Lyra ran to it and powered it up. Blue lights filled the cockpit, humming with energy. Arin stood at the door for a moment, unsure. He looked back at the lift. Knowing the Voidborn would break through soon. His peaceful life was over, replaced by a war he didn't understand. But something inside him, the same energy that saved him 15 years ago, told him this was only the beginning. Lyra reached out her hand. Arin. Please, trust me. He took her hand and stepped inside the shuttle. The engines roared to life as they lifted off the ground. But before the doors could close, a single Voidborn appeared at the far end of the hangar. It pointed at Arin. Its voice echoing like a broken star. Human. The hour of your true death is coming. Lyra slammed the controls. The shuttle shot into the dark tunnels. Escaping just as the creature leaped forward, the hunt had begun. And Arin Cole was the center of a war he never asked for. The shuttle raced through a narrow, underground tunnel. The engines trembled, sparks snapped in the air. And metal groaned under the speed. Arin Cole sat in the co-pilot seat, breathing hard. Still trying to understand what had just happened, the Voidborn, the resonance. The strange powers waking inside him, none of it made sense. He had always been a simple rescue pilot. He saved lives, he fixed machines, he followed rules. Not once did he imagine he would become the center of a galactic hunt. Lyra kept her eyes on the glowing controls. She moved her fingers quickly, her silver hair falling over her face. She looked calm. But Arin could see fear in the way her hands shook slightly. The tunnel opened into a huge cavern, and the shuttle shot upward into the night sky. Only when they reached the upper atmosphere did Lyra finally speak. You are safe for now, she whispered. But not for long. Arin leaned back, exhausted. He stared at the stars outside the window, bright points of light that felt colder than ever. What are those creatures? He asked, and why do they keep calling me the human who crossed the void? Lyra closed her eyes, thinking deeply. Then she sat beside him, her voice soft but steady. You deserve the truth, Arin. Arin nodded. Unsure if he was ready for it, Lyra began. When you died 15 years ago, your soul left your body. But it did not fade into nothing. It drifted into the resonance, the ancient energy that connects all living beings. Arin frowned. I don't remember that. Lyra touched his arm gently. No human remembers crossing the resonance. Your mind was not meant to understand what it saw. Arin felt a chill. So, what happened to me? Lyra looked out the window, her glowing eyes reflecting the stars. When a soul enters the resonance, it usually continues on its natural path. But yours didn't. Your soul was pulled into a place called the White Void. Arin blinked. He remembered flashes light, a voice, warmth mixed with pain. Images he had ignored for years. Thinking they were dreams, Lyra continued, "The White Void is not death. Arin, it is a border between worlds, a place where lost souls and ancient energies meet." Arin's chest tightened. And why was I there? Lyra hesitated before answering. There was something inside the White Void. Something ancient and powerful. It reached out to you. Arin stared at her. Reached out? Why me? Lyra shook her head. We still don't know. Maybe because you acted out of pure selflessness. Maybe because your heart was strong enough to survive the crossing. Or maybe it chose you for its own reason. Arin didn't like that answer. He didn't want to believe some unknown cosmic force had touched him. Changed him. His hands trembled slightly. I didn't ask for this. Lyra nodded sadly. I know. Silence filled the shuttle for a long moment. Only the steady hum of the engines broke it. Finally, Lyra spoke again, her tone heavier. When that ancient force touched your soul, it left a mark inside you. A living mark. Arin looked down at his chest, where the glowing symbol had appeared many times. The mark. That's what they want. Lyra nodded. Yes, the Voidborn were created to hunt the resonance, she explained. To consume it, control it, and use it to destroy entire civilizations. They believe the power inside you is the key to opening a greater gateway into our universe. Arin swallowed hard. So I'm a walking doorway. Lyra looked at him with soft sympathy. You are more than that, she said. You survived something no human ever has. You carry a power that should not exist inside a mortal body. Arin rubbed his face. This isn't real, he whispered. I fix broken ships, Lyra. I'm not a warrior. I'm not special. Lyra placed her hand on his shoulder. You may not have been a warrior when you were alive, but the resonance does not choose randomly. Arin looked at her sharply. What do you mean? Lyra took a deep breath. The force that touched you did not simply revive you. It changed you. It connected your soul to mine. Arin froze. What? Lyra showed him the glowing symbol on her arm, the same as his. This mark is a bond, she said. A bond between our souls. It is why I felt your awakening. It is why I could find you across the stars. Arin stared at her. Stunned, he didn't understand everything. But he understood one thing. His life had never truly returned to normal after his death. The truth had just been hiding, waiting, growing, before Arin could ask more. The shuttle's warning lights turned red. A loud beeping echoed through the cockpit. Lyra gasped. No. They found us again. Arin's blood ran cold outside the window. Dark shapes appeared in the clouds, void-born ships closing in like hungry shadows. Lyra grabbed the controls. Arin. Hold on. The real fight begins now. The shuttle shook violently as Lyra forced it into a steep climb. Clouds tore apart around them, lightning flashed, and dark shapes followed close behind. The void-born ships moved like living shadows, sliding through the sky with unnatural grace. Arin Cole gripped the sides of his seat as another blast struck the rear engine. Sparks rained behind them, and the shuttle dropped for a moment before Lyra stabilized it again. They are locking onto your energy signature. Lyra shouted over the alarms. They don't even need to track the ship. Arin clenched his teeth. So I'm basically a flashing sign that says, come and get me. Lyra didn't want to confirm it, but her silence was enough. Another blast shook the shuttle. A metal panel ripped off the wing and spun away into the night. Lyra swore softly in her language. "They are too fast. We cannot outrun them." Arin stared at the mark on his chest as it began to glow again. Bright and angry, the heat spread through his ribs. Up his neck, down his arms. It felt like something was pushing outward. Trying to escape, he pressed his hand to it, gasping, "What? What is this energy inside me?" Lyra's eyes widened when she saw the light. "It is waking faster than I expected. You must not let it take over." Another hit shook the shuttle, and the cockpit lights flickered. Arin shouted, "Then tell me how to control it." Lyra turned sharply toward him, her voice trembling. "You cannot control it yet. The resonance inside you is raw and wild, if you release it without training. You may burn yourself from the inside." Arin didn't like that answer, but he didn't have time to argue. The Voidborn ships closed in, forming a circle around them. Bright red energy gathered in their cores. Preparing for a final strike, Lyra whispered, "They want to disable the ship and take you alive." Arin swallowed hard. That's not comforting. Lyra made a quick decision, one she had hoped she could avoid. She grabbed a crystalline control rod beneath the dashboard and pushed it into the main console. Blue light flooded the shuttle. The engines roared louder. Glowing brighter than before, Arin felt the air shift. "What did you just activate?" Lyra didn't turn to him. "A forbidden boost. It burns the ship's life systems. But it might give us a chance." The shuttle shot upward with incredible speed, leaving a trail of blue flames across the sky. For a moment, they broke past the Voidborn formation. But the victory lasted only seconds. A massive shape appeared above them, an enormous Voidborn warship, blacker than night, stretching across the horizon. Arin stared at it in disbelief. "That thing is huge." Lyra's voice was barely a whisper. "It is a Void Reaver, a ship built to swallow stars." The Reaver opened a giant circular port. Glowing with deep red energy, the sky turned crimson as it aimed at the small shuttle like a predator choosing its prey. Arin's heart pounded. His mark burned hotter, blindingly bright. Pain shot through his ribs and spine. He groaned, gripping the seat. Lyra looked at him with alarm. "Arin, listen to me," she said, grabbing his shoulders. "You must calm the resonance. If you panic, it will consume you." Arin tried, but the pain grew stronger. Images flashed in his mind, the white void. A voice calling him back, light pouring into his soul. A promise he never understood. He gasped. "Lyra." "Something is happening." Lyra nodded quickly. "It is responding to danger. The resonance wants to protect itself." But the Voidborn Reaver was nearly ready. The red energy in its port spiraled faster. Forming a massive beam, Lyra tried to steer away. But the ship's engines sputtered. "No more power," she whispered. "We cannot escape." Arin looked at her. Then at the Reaver, then at the glowing mark on his chest. A fear washed over him, but behind it, something else rose, a strange confidence. A voice inside him, calm and ancient, telling him to stand. Arin unbuckled his seat and stepped toward the front of the cockpit. Lyra grabbed his arm. "Arin, what are you doing?" He didn't look at her. "I don't know," he said honestly, "but I think I need to try something." He raised his hand toward the Reaver ship. The mark on his chest flashed with blinding white light. The cockpit filled with energy, shaking the shuttle violently. Lyra shielded her eyes. "Arin, stop. You'll kill yourself." But Arin felt no fear now, only a deep pull, like the universe itself was guiding him. The Void Reaver fired its massive beam. The red energy roared toward the shuttle like a falling sun. In that moment, Arin released everything inside him. A wave of pure white resonance burst out of his body. It collided with the Reaver's attack. The sky lit up like a star exploding. The shockwave thundered across the upper atmosphere, shaking clouds and burning the air. The void-born ships spun out of control, thrown back by the force. The Reaver's attack shattered mid-air. Breaking into fragments of red dust, Arin fell to his knees, gasping. The glowing symbol on his chest dimmed slowly. Lyra knelt beside him, eyes wide with shock and fear. You unleash the resonance, she whispered. No untrained human should be able to do that. Arin looked at his trembling hands. Well? Here I am. Lyra stared at him like she was seeing a legend forming in real time. But fear still lingered in her voice as she spoke. Arin, if the Voidborn saw that power, they will return with everything they have. Arin stood slowly, his breath unsteady. They want a war. He said, then they're going to get one. The sky over Earth was no longer calm. Clouds twisted into strange shapes, air shimmered with leftover energy. And the world below felt the echo of Arin's release. People woke from their sleep, confused, afraid, feeling as if a star had exploded somewhere nearby. But only two beings knew the truth, Arin Cole and Princess Lyra. Their shuttle drifted in the quiet aftershock. Engines failing, lights fading. Lyra tried to stabilize the controls, but the system was nearly dead. You pushed the ship too far, she whispered. Arin leaned back, breathing heavily. And I pushed myself too far too. The mark on his chest glowed faintly. No longer bright, but still alive like a sleeping heart, waiting to wake again. Lyra looked at him, her eyes full of worry. That power. Arin, it is too much for a human body. If you release it like that again, it might kill you. Arin rubbed his forehead. He knew she was right, deep inside. He felt something breaking, teeny cracks spreading inside his spirit. Each use of the resonance demanded a price. And Arin did not know how many more times he could pay it. Before he could answer, a soft beeping echoed through the cockpit. Lyra checked the screen and froze. No. Arin turned to her. What now? She slowly pointed at the radar display. Dozens of red dots appeared, then hundreds. The Voidborn were regrouping. A gigantic Reaver ship appeared behind them, bigger than the first one, almost like a floating mountain of darkness. Arin stared at it in disbelief. How many of these things are there? Lyra whispered. They have entire fleets. They were waiting. Watching the moment you released the resonance, the Reaver's shadow covered the stars. Blocking the moonlight, a deep voice echoed through the Cumsbroken. Metallic, yet full of intelligence, human who carries the resonance. Your power belongs to us. Arin felt the cold fear return. But this time, something inside him stood tall against it. He had run out of places to hide, run out of ways to escape. Lyra placed her hand on his arm. Arin, listen to me. You have a choice. Arin looked at her, tired, hurting, scared. What choice? Lyra took a deep breath. There is a way to awaken the resonance fully. She whispered, it will give you the strength to destroy the Voidborn fleet. But she looked away, her voice breaking. It will take your life. Arin felt the world fall silent. Even the alarms seemed distant. What's the other choice? He asked softly. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. You seal the resonance inside yourself. You live. But Earth will fall. The Voidborn will invade this world. And millions will die. Arin's hands trembled. Two paths stood before him. One demanded everything. The other demanded too much. Lyra knelt in front of him. Arin, I never wanted to ask this of you. You did not choose this power. But the universe gave it to you. And now? Only you can decide how it ends. Arin closed his eyes. Memories flooded him, the people he saved at Helix 9, the moment he died, the moment he returned. 15 years of strange dreams. And now Lyra, standing before him. Carrying the weight of her entire star system, he opened his eyes slowly. If I do this, if I awaken it fully, what happens to me? Lyra's voice was a whisper of heartbreak. You will burn. Arin, your body cannot hold that much power, but your sacrifice will save Earth. Arin stared at the stars outside the window. He once died saving people he didn't even know. Perhaps this was who he always was. Perhaps this was why the resonance chose him. Lyra's voice trembled. I do not want you to die again. I don't want to lose you. Arin looked at her gently. You won't lose me, he said, as long as someone remembers. I'm not really gone. Lyra shook her head. Tears falling, you do not understand, she whispered. When our souls linked, I felt you, I care for you more than I should. Arin froze at her confession. He didn't know what to say. But the moment quickly shattered as the Reaver charged its weapon. The sky glowed blood red, ready to erase everything. Arin stood up, his decision made. Open the resonance channel, he told her. Lyra looked at him in pain. Arin, please. He squeezed her hand. This is my choice. She nodded slowly, tears falling like silver drops. Lyra placed her palm against his chest, right over the glowing mark. The symbol brightened, humming with deep power. The shuttle filled with light, brighter and brighter. Arin felt warmth flood through him, painful, powerful, endless outside. The Voidborn ships backed away, sensing the awakening. The Reaver screamed, "Stop him!" But it was too late. Arin Cole became a star. A living wave of pure resonance burst out from him. It tore through the Voidborn fleet, ripping their shadows into dust. The sky exploded with white light, spreading across the planet. Every human felt it a warm touch, like hope itself passing through their hearts. Then the light faded. The fleet was gone. The sky became calm again, and Arin Cole was gone too. Lyra fell to her knees, whispering his name. Her hand still glowing with the last echo of his soul, but in the silence that followed, the mark on her arm shimmered, faint. But alive, it meant only one thing. Arin Cole's story wasn't over. Not yet.